Let's welcome Nic George. Nick, come on in, man.
See if I can find my way.
You got this.
I'm on time.
I appreciate that.
I always wanted to walk into an interview with sunglasses on.
You're just such a rock star.
Well, I'm actually not a rock star at all. That's why I like hanging out with musicians, just to get a little feel.
Nice. Well, welcome to the show. I think of Nick as a creative mastermind. I know him as an artist, as a painter, a filmmaker, and a videographer for Radio Skies, as well as a sweet, caring, just very passionate man that you can't help but get along with. Yeah, that's you.
That's very kind of you, David.
So, welcome to the show. You are actually our very first live guest. This is exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. So, people can tell from your accent, you're from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get up here to Ojai?
From Australia, I moved to California about 14 years ago. But Ojai, I've been here, I think, around 7 years now, or 8 years. And I was living in LA and then Santa Barbara for a time, and I would come up here and visit on the weekends, and then found myself camping up in the orchards, and then decided one day it was time to move.
You just fell in love with the place?
It was not so much just falling in love with the place. The first time I drove in to Ojai, I had this realization that I was going to live here one day. It was a very striking kind of moment.
A magic moment.
Yeah.
Did you drive in during Pink moment? Is it?
Yeah. I didn't, but I did witness it that day, and of course heard about the Pink moment, which is which lots of places have the Pink moment, but none quite like Ojai.
I like Ojai.
Yeah.
And then, how did you fall in with the guys from Radio Skies?
Really just the proximity. I think I was living at a property close to Daniel Wright, who's the lead singer, and we started just kicking it and hanging out and talking about all things life and creativity. And he introduced me to some of the music that he was making with Radio Skies, and not being particularly musical myself, don't play an instrument and don't sing well, it was nice to kind of experience that process. And Daniel essentially just started asking me, after seeing some of the other creative work that I do in the visual realm, he essentially just said, "Hey, would you ever do a music video for me and the band?" And I said, "Look, I don't know if I can do that, I don't know if I have the skill set to do that." And he just was very persistent with it. And so eventually I kind of said, okay, maybe I can try this out. And that was really the entry point, was just the friendship that developed into, somebody that, we were connecting on about various different creative things, and then this was something that I could potentially play to.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're a very visual artist, so it kind of makes sense as an extension of photography and painting and drawing and everything to get into the video realm.
Yeah.
And then, with the videos that you've made with them, it seems like you've been very diverse in what you've tried to do as well. So you have, one that's like very emotive, and then you have another one that's an animated one, and then you have the third one, Prism, which is just a trippy dreamscape kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're able to try out a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage of, being new to something. You kind of have an innocence where you want to explore different aspects of how you could approach something. Also, the songs themselves, I think, offer, a different look at something. So that was an interesting aspect for me to approach it. And really, when Daniel said, would you do a music video, I said, look, if there's a song off the album Double Life that really stands out to me, that I feel that I could approach a music video with, then I'll do it. And so Heretofore actually was the first song that I really felt, here's a concept that could work for that.
You want to take a look at it?
Sure.
Can we
if
show
you
a
want
clip of that?
to show some of it.
That'd be great.
I will promise you everything. I will promise you everything.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a dear friend, Tiana Gifa, who's featured in that video. And really, the sense of that video is just, it's really a song about falling in love. And so what I did is I set up a camera, just, I was holding it, so it was sort of just free, sitting on a boat that was a pontoon boat, and we went out on a lake, and Tiana stood actually at the end of the boat, and Daniel Wright was driving the boat. And I kind of had explored this idea of not telling Tiana anything about the song. I just told her that we were going to be videoing her and she'd be standing on a boat, and it was going to be pretty natural. And I said, you're going to react to different things, and we would take 7 takes, the length of the song. And from those 7 takes, we'd make a music video. And the first take was, there was going to be nothing but her standing there, and Daniel was going to introduce the concepts of the song, and she was going to listen to them. And then gradually we built off that. So he started to actually, he talked through the lyrics of the song, and then she was able to respond to those. So she started to play into what the lyrics were about, and then we eventually played the song, and she was then interacting with the song. And then in the end, it became a discussion about what the song was about between Daniel and Tiana. And I was just in the middle of the two of them, capturing these moments.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the video, check it out. Heretofore, Radio Skies. Now let's talk about a completely different direction. The New Age video, all animated using the GIFs or GIFs.
Yeah.
GIFs.
I call them GIFs. Giphy GIFs.
Giphy GIFs.
Yeah.
How did that process go? Where did that come from?
Well, New Age, I felt was a song that really hit the nail on the head and spoke to the kind of times that we're living right now. And because it was a time where there was less social interaction when I made it, it became kind of obvious to not use other people's, or I couldn't exactly depend on other people to turn up. So I started to play around with Instagram GIFs, actually, in the Instagram stories. And I literally just was composing these elements of GIFs and layering them on a black background. And then I'd take those and then bring them into an editing app and edit. I sort of stitched it together just through sort of searching for themes and concepts and keywords that seemed to fit with, what the song was speaking to.
It's like a little dance party.
Yeah.
Can we show a clip of that? Awesome. Let's check it out. Super fun.
Thanks.
I dig that one.
Compliments to your production crew here. That was a nice little section, I think, that you guys pulled.
Great messaging going on in there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, despite everything that's going on, that's the thing, isn't it? It's sort of like hold on to somebody you love and show them. And yeah, so you know, we're connected through these strange devices and technology, but you know, it's important to remember those. And I hope that by actually removing, you know, the real aspects of people, that we would become more, that would become more obvious, that message. Maybe that arrives, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
but it should have been fun.
Regardless if it gets people up and dancing and
Sure.
in their homes, that's great. And let's switch over to Prism, which has been this big build up to this song, but it's just taken its time to get there. It's I think probably my favorite song on the album. And you're doing some really, really cool dreamscapey things with crystals and everything. You want to show the clip first and then we can talk about it? Or you want to give a little preamble?
Yeah, maybe the preamble, actually.
Okay, all right.
Just because it's still really being realized.
Yeah.
And it is one of those, you know, passion projects that has taken its sweet time, and it just leads its own way. And really, of these three, you know, clips, with my entry into doing this as a passion, it's really the most ambitious. Mostly because I had no idea how to realize this vision that I had, first of all, and then second of all because it involved the most amount of other people, which is always like part of the fun as well.
Right.
And really part of like what this process, how it's been rewarding, is the community aspects of it as well. But well, actually, you know, I'll share with your viewers my pitch to essentially Daniel and the band and you, which was I'd heard the song Prism, and we'll talk about Prism later, but I immediately thought, how do I play into this without being too on the nose, maybe a little humorous, but essentially I had this vision and this idea of James Bond title sequences meeting with Fraggle Rock, which not everyone, depending on your age, you may not know Fraggle Rock, but the Jim Henson Fraggle Rock. And really it was like this idea of these weird creatures playing in these like rock forms, and this idea of playing with scale, which, you know, speaks to that trippy kind of thing, like where are we in the micro or the macro? And, you know, the final thing I'll say about it was I wanted to have people dancing inside of and on top of crystals. So that's where we've got to with that.
Let's check it out. All right. So that's about a minute.
Yeah, we've got a little bit more than a minute for this music video edit of the song. But yeah, it's just taking some time to feel it out right. And you know, we might have to shoot some more crystals. We'll see.
Well, we got to get into that world. You
Yeah.
know? So, and it's Ojai. It's a very crystal focused place. A lot of power with that, and it's tough times to do productions right now. You know, so we will get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to admit, when listening to this song, when I first saw these guys live and fell in love with them, I thought Daniel was saying love is a prison. And where I was at the moment in my life, I was like, dang, he's right. And then I realized it was prism. I was like, prism with an M. That's a much better idea.
Prism with an M, and hopefully that, you know, the spectral element and the crystals help with defining that
Yes.
for the listeners.
Yep. So you can pick up that song and all of their songs on this album right here. We've got vinyl. We've got on all the streaming services. Watch some of their music videos and keep your eyes out for the release of Prism, the music video, coming soon. I want to thank you so much for being here. First live guest on the UndergroundSun live stream. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Nic George.
Thank you, David.